Hey everybody, it's me Stacey here at Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com, and it is time for our next Saturday with Stacey YouTube class number 409. Wow! That's all I can say about this YouTube class is wow! It is easy peasy, honestly. It is creative, it's affordable, it's exclusive, it's worldwide launch. It's everything that I love all wrapped up into a big happy bow. I have got the next collection of simply defined kaleidoscope layering stencils for you. Now, those of you who already know, Simply Defined is my brand and my layering stencils are exclusive to Scrapbooking Made Simple. They are value priced and you get 3 stencils per set for a wonderful price. But I'm pairing them up with something that is so exclusive that nobody else will have it until at least January of next year from Hero Arts. I wanted it, I fought for it, I smiled and batted my eyes to get it, and then I stomped my feet a little bit maybe, but it's here and I am so excited to be able to offer it to you. What is it? Well, you'll have to wait and see now, won't you? I also have Aladdin and a product from Sizzix that we've never used before. Who knew? And techniques and tips and tricks for the beginning crafter all the way up to the most experienced crafter. So even if this is the first time you're ever watching a crafting class, it's okay. You're going to be able to do this. I promise you. And if you've been crafting since the beginning of time, well, let's just Staceyfy it a little bit, shall we? I've got exclusive Versus stamps for you. Versus, a beautiful stamp company. They make the most beautiful sentiments, and they do 2 sets of stamps every other month just for me to go along with my stencils. Gotta love it all, right? Let me give you a quick update on the warehouse sale. Yes, we'll get to winner chicken dinner in just a moment, but a quick update on the warehouse sale. We have all of day 2 of the warehouse upstairs. Day 3 has been completely billed. If you chose pay later and you were on day 3 of the warehouse sale, you have been sent your PayPal invoice. Now, you don't have to pay with PayPal. There's a link at the bottom of it that allows you to pay with any credit card. And heck, if you want to bypass all of that, you can just give us a call here at the shop and we'll be happy to take payment over the phone. But if you placed your order on day 3, you have been sent at least once, probably more than once, your PayPal payment. Once day 2 is all done, day 3 will go up in entirety. The whole day is going up all at once and we'll process all of day 3 together. Then I have a feeling we'll probably process day 4, day 5, and day 6 all together as well. I think I have to look at the numbers, but we just keep trudging along and, well, you do the best you can with what you got. And you don't pitch a fit. I'm telling that to myself, not to you. We do the best we can with what we got and we don't pitch a fit. So I just keep reminding myself of that. Oh my gosh, I would have loved to have been done, but that's just not in our realm of reality right now with all that's happening. So, winner chicken dinner. Are you ready? I have 2 winners that have won a $25 gift card from Scrapbooking Made Simple. It is already in their online account. Congratulations to both of these peeps. And gosh, I don't know what you're going to get with it, but I hope it's something that you've always wanted. And you know, it's nice when you can splurge just a little bit, or even if you apply it to something that's maybe a little more than $25, at least you got a $25 head start on it, right? And we pick 2 winners every single YouTube. How do you get a chance to be a winner chicken dinner? Well, you have to subscribe to our channel. There's a heart right here. It's got an SMS in it. You have to click and subscribe. Once you subscribe, you can post a comment below. Live chat comments do not count. You have to post it below. Once I approve it, and I do approve them, they won't be instantly available for you to see. We go through and we approve them. Why? Because sometimes we get some comments that are not so kind. Constructive criticism, absolutely. Unkind comments, absolutely. So we approve them, and then from those that are approved, we have a software that will pick 2 random winners, and that's how we get it. If you don't post a comment, I am positive of one thing: you will not win. So my husband always tells me that when I ask him if we've won the lottery. He said, well, did you play? No. I'm terrible about that. We work so hard for our money that just to spend it on a lottery ticket just gives me heart palpitations. But he's right, I'll never win if I never play. So I guess I can't complain about it and pitch a fit. So our winners, let me put my glasses on. Our winners this week are D Kepler. I know this name. Hello, D Kepler. How are you doing? Thank you for having an easy peasy name for me to announce. That made my heart so very happy. So if this is you, D, congratulations. Head on over to your online account and you will find $25 in it already. Our next winner is also a name that I recognize, but I cannot pronounce. Carol. Carol's the easy part. Is it Sire? Sire. It only has 3 letters. How hard can it be? Carol Sire. I'm going with that. Could be wrong. Probably am. Doesn't really matter. She still gets her $25. Hello, Carol. How are you doing today? Congratulations on being a winner chicken dinner. All righty. Let's do our winner chicken dinner dance, right? Is everybody ready? Gosh, is it Dorothy? Dorothy, are you ready? Dorothy's the daughter of one of our viewers. And I got a picture of her. Dorothy's just darling. Okay, are you ready? You're a winner, chicken dinner. You're a winner, chicken dinner. Wahoo, ka-choo, for you. Don't know if Avery the cat was watching, but hey, wahoo, ka-choo. Now, I'm going to get started for today because there is a lot to do. I've got some samples to show you ahead of time. Again, worldwide launch and exclusive from Hero Arts on their inks. I will get to that in just a moment. Exclusive Simply Defined stencils and a whole lot of technique. And we're going to start out super simple and we're going to end with wahoo ka-choo. All right, you guys, down we go. It's good to see you. Bye. Okay, let's just zoom on in. Not on my tummy, please. Zoom on in. Maybe turn it just a little bit. Zoom, 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 zoom. Okay, so look at how pretty is that. And that stamp is from Versus. The stencil is from Simply Defined. And look at all those colors you got in there. But this isn't even taking the stencil all the way to what we can do. Oh no. Here. So this was originally supposed to be a Christmas background, and it can be a Christmas background, but it also can be an everything background. With my stencils, every other month when they launch, I'm trying to do one background that can be used for a multitude of different things, and then one more themey stencil that is a little more specific to something. But gosh, you could make this into any kind of a card or a mat for your layout or altered art or mixed media. So these are the 2 that are the background. And then here is my themed stencil. She's Christmas. Well, I guess she doesn't have, well, she kind of is Christmas. Everything from your little houses and trees to your stars to your angel. This is the one and only Christmas Simply Defined layering stencil. All right, we good? Okay, let's get started then, shall we? I'm going to start with the Argyle. And Simply Defined layering stencils are always 3 stencils to make the layer. They retail for $9.99 for all 3 stencils. The stencils are a full A2 size, so an A2 card size, and you'll notice that I put little tabs on my stencils to make it easy to tape them in place, or however you put them in place. The little tabs just make it a little easier. Now this stencil has got a lot of opportunity to do many things with. You can start with 1 stencil. You can do 1 and layer 2. You can do 1 and layer 3. You can do 2 and layer 3. You can just do layer 3 on its own, or you can do layer 1, 2, and 3 together. What the heck am I talking about? All right, well, let's play just a little bit, and I'm going to cut some paper, and we're going to get started. Now, if I recall last week, there was no sirens in the video. It might have been a first time ever that has happened. We'll see what we get today. Sometimes I hear them and sometimes I think I block them out. Now, I'm going to start with stencil number 1, and this is the first stencil if you're going to layer more than 1 stencil. It's got the most open. Here you've got more of a striped stencil, but you always start with the one that's more of a, is it a harlequin, or I guess a harlequin, argyle look to it. And the ink I'm going to play with today is from Hero Arts. It is from Hero Arts. What makes it so special? Well, Hero Arts has always had their cubes, their ink cubes. And they've always sold them in a 4-pack. Now, I don't know if that's the 4-pack that they sold them in, but the only way you've been able to ever buy the Hero Cubes is in a 4-pack. And these are the same colors that they sell in a full-size ink. And I believe they sell the 4-pack for $12, $11.99. But what if you only wanted this color? Could you buy just this color? No. What if you only wanted this color? Could you buy just that color? No, you could only get them if you wanted to buy the full-size ink pad. And maybe you don't need the full-size ink pad. Maybe you just like these colors. So I talked to, convinced, cajoled, pleaded, batted my eyes so that we didn't have to sell them as a 4-pack anymore. We were able to sell just the individual colors, so you can buy exactly what you want for $2.99 a cube. These will become a regular item for Hero Arts, but not until January of next year. No, this was my concept, my idea. I fought for it, I wanted it, and I am so glad that I got it. There are 24 colors. There's no re-inkers. They are on a felt pad, not a foam pad. They match the larger size, but just like our dewdrops, maybe you don't necessarily want emerald green in a full-size pad for $8.99 or $7.99, whatever it is. But for $2.99, well, it sure is nice to have that color when I want to use it. The cornflower. Maybe you like that color, but you don't want a full-size cornflower. Now you don't have to. You can get at least 2 or 3 of these for the price of 1 full-size pad. They will all come individually priced, individually skewed, and ready to go. I am very excited. So of course we have an I Want It All bundle, but I've got a special with the I Want It All bundle. I've got a free gift from Sizzix that we're adding in. So I'm going to put this over there for now, and I'm going to talk about the stencil. So I've got my stencil number 1 here, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tape it down. I have to give big props to everybody at Hero Arts. This was a task. This wasn't just an easy peasy, oh yeah, let's open up the cubes and Stacey can have them and sell them any way she wants. No, each individual cube had to get a SKU number. It had to be photographed. It had to be ordered in specifically because it's not with a kit anymore. They had to be individually tagged on the bottom. So they took a lot of time and effort to get this done for me. And I really can't thank them enough, because it allows Hero Inks to become more accessible to those of you who are on a crafty budget, or who don't know what color. you know, maybe you start with, maybe you buy a cornflower blue because you think you like the color, but you might not use it very often. And you find that you're using it all the time. Then maybe you do want a full color of that one, a full size ink pad. But you buy the soft pool and you rarely use it. Then you know you don't need one. I want to say there's 27 colors, 27, I think 27. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Oh, is there, wait a minute. No, 24 colors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 24 colors. There's 24 colors in all. Oh! And they'll be on a YouTube Yummy sale. Or the I Want It All, which is not only going to be on sale, but is going to give you a free Sizzix gift. So which is going to work with the ink. That's why we did the Sizzix gift, because it's going to work with the ink. Now I've taken and taped down 4 of my tabs. I've left 2 tabs untaped just because when I go over it, I will add a little ink here and here. That helps me line up my second one. So there's my first, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab let's see, what do I want to grab? Maybe I will grab that cornflower. Do I want the cornflower? I'm thinking. And let's get a blue brush. Oh no, maybe I'll do a green. Maybe I'll start with a green and then I'll do a blue. Oh yeah, okay. So maybe I'll grab my lime green. And these are Couture Creations blending brushes. I know everybody's got blending brushes on the market right now. They're just everywhere. These are the large size. They retail for $5. They'll be on sale for $4. What I like about them is the little hat. Hello, little hat. Look at that little cover. Isn't that just a little bit of happiness right there? Makes the whole thing, I love it. It makes them so much better because you don't have to worry about anything harming your brush. You just put your lid on, and I have just written on green, so I know green goes with green and I'm good to go. So let's start with lime green, shall we? And I'm just gonna go over my stencil. Easy peasy mac and cheesy. And you know, maybe I'll just do one of each, just so you can see it. So get my color down. And I'm not really being specific about how dark my color is or how light my color is or where my color's going. I just want to give a nice coat. So I love having options. And now we have an option with Hero Arts and their small cubes. Again, they won't launch anywhere else until sometime early next year. So for a while, they're exclusive to Scrapbooking Made Simple, and this is the worldwide launch for them. All right, so I've got some color down, right? So I take off my, look at everybody, I'm gonna try and save my tape. Y'all should be so proud of me on live chat. We live chat every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. And I'm so bad about saving the tape. Okay, so there we go. There's my stencil. Pretty easy peasy, right? But then I have the opportunity to add a second stencil on top. And that second stencil, and the reason why I left that tab here and this tab here and put some color around it is because now I can see where to line it up perfectly. Just make sure those tabs are covered and tape it back down. Now this stencil is covering up some of the diamonds and then leaving a whole new space for the diamonds. I think before I do that, I think I'm going to take stencil 3, just so you can see what stencil 1 looks like with just stencil 1 and stencil 3. So let's tape that down, and let's tape that one. So before I move on and start layering them on top of each other, I thought I'd just show you what they look like if you just leave them pretty darn basic. And I'm only going to do half of this one. Let me grab my black. And now, or I could grab, oh, what if I grab a dark green? Oh, Stacey, see, I think too much. What if I grabbed a dark green? I don't know what the emerald green's going to look like, but we're going to go for it anyway, right? Right. So I'm going to take my emerald green, and I'm just going to do half of this so you'll be able to see the difference. Oh, that's very green. Woohoo! It'll be a good contrast, that is for sure. Oops. Well, there they are, the sirens, folks. Okay. That's definitely green. Let's take off my tape. And this is Sizzix Maker's tape. It's a very easy to use washi. Okay, so now you can see what it would look like with the little stitchings that make it that argyle type look, or plain. Stitching, plain. Ha! But what if I took, you know what, let's grab another piece of paper. And remember I was going to do this one. I'll do this one, the stencil number 2, all by itself as well, so you can see what it's going to look like. And let's tape it down. You can see what it's going to look like all by itself, and then when I add in my stitching, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I usually leave 2 alone just so I can run some ink on the outside. Let's use that cornflower. Blue, blue. Oh, isn't that a pretty color? So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to come in here and lay some color down. But you can already see that the pattern is different than the first one that I did. And for me, I don't care if it's high in places and low in places. What I mean by high and low is the intensity of the color. If you want to keep it all uniform and have a straight color all the way through, you just go over it until all your color is the exact same saturation. I like having the highs and the lows. It gives it depth perception. And when you're using paper, you really want to add some depth perception to it. Otherwise, it just looks flat. Okay, I think we're good. All right, so I used this one, and I used lime green, so we're going to keep those to the side. And let me show you what this one looks like without anything else being done to it. There you go. But let's add that second, or the last stencil that gives that stitched element to it, that adds that final little touch. Line it up so you can see I've got it really dark there, so I know all I have to do is move my tab so that it lines right up with that, and then I'll be straight. So let's line it on up. Tape it on down. That was not the best tape job. And on. For the sake of argument, I'm just going to use the same green that I used before, which was emerald green. So this is my blue, and let's grab my green. And same thing, I'm only going to do half of it. Just so you're able to see the difference. Okay. I think I'm good. One, two. All right. Now I have a completely different design. I can do just this if I want, or I can do that. I can do just that if I want, or I can do this. Totally different designs, both of them fabulous. But what if I wanted to do just the stitched element? Can I do just the stitched element? Sure I can. One, two. So I am hoping that you're seeing, without even layering them, all three of them together, well, we'll do this one anyway, how easy they can be to use, and how many different types of backgrounds you can make without really doing any work at all. Now I could have put this on a colored cardstock as opposed to white. I could have done it with metallic ink on black cardstock. I could have done it with white ink on black cardstock, or a dark colored cardstock. See, and I'm probably a girl who would not want emerald green in a full-size pad, but I like having it available to me in a mini. And since I don't have to buy all 4 cubes anymore at the same time, instead of spending $12, I'm spending $3, and I'm getting exactly what I want. I like when I get exactly what I want. I am the girl from When Harry Met Sally. I am Sally. You know, it has to, the salad dressing's got to be on the side, and I don't want onions on it, and I only want croutons if they're da-da-da. I'm, boy, Mr. SMS, when he had to kind of get used to that. There we go. So now we have stencil 1 with and without the stitching. Stencil 2 with and without the stitching. Stencil 3 all by itself, but I could take this and do one more. You're like, what? What if I just off center, just off center? And again, I'll only do half of it. So I've moved my stencil over. And this is good if you're going to cut the stencil up and do something else with it. So I've moved my stencil over so that it's off center to what I have already inked and put down. And let's ink it up. And I'll only do half of it. If you can say, can I do that? You can try it. Let your imagination go with it. If you've got the question, gee, I wonder if that can be done, all we're working with right now is white paper. Try. Okay, so let's cut some of these out. Oh, that was a bad cut, Stacey. Wow, that was bad. That's okay. Okay, so here I've done a double stitch. Here I've done a single stitch. Here I've done what will be my second layer when I put all three of them together. So my second layer all by itself, or my second layer with the stitching. Or my first layer all by itself, or my first layer with the stitching. Now, mind you, the stencils for all three of them are just $9.99, 10 bucks. But my goodness gracious, think of all the different combinations that you can do, and we haven't even started layering one on top of two, and you know, 1, 2, and 3. All right. So now I'm going to throw I've used them enough, I'm going to throw that away. And to clean my stencil real quick, the ink is water soluble, but I'm going to use a little bit of alcohol. And clean my stencil, easy peasy. Done. And I have stencil 1, stencil 2, or stencil 3. Now let's layer them. So keeping with the same inks that I'm working with, although I might not use the emerald green, we'll see. Let's grab another sheet of white paper and let's start with stencil 1 that has more of the harlequin. It's not really argyle I get until you add the cross hatches to it. This is more harlequin. And let's tape it down. So 1, 2, 3, and those tabs just give you a place to put your tape as opposed to trying to get it on the fine borders of stencils. Sometimes I left 2 tabs open because I'm going to go over there with my ink so I have registration lines so I can line my stencil back up next time. Let's put this here, and I'm going to clean some of that green out. This is my green brush. I use 1 brush per color family. All right, let's give it a whirl. Get in there and get some lime green. Just kind of get it all over. Some a little lighter, some a little darker. I just don't want to see any white paper. It can have a hint of green, but it just can't be white. All right. And just like that, we're done. Okay, I've got my green down. Now, let's peel it off. I want to make sure I went around these really good. So I've got it really dark around my 2 tabs. So when I peel this off, I will be able to reline up my next stencil. All right, now let's grab that cornflower blue. There, put my green lid, my little hat on. Isn't it so cute? Let's get the cornflower blue and stencil number 2, which looks different than stencil number 1. It's going to mask off some of my green. Look at that, can you see? When I layer it on top, it masks off, meaning it's covering some of those dots that I did green. It's covering up some of those dots. It's also open where some of those dots are green, and it's open where it's white. So what's gonna happen when I layer this on top and I add color? I don't know. Actually, I do, but sorry. For drama effect, I don't know what's gonna happen when in reality, absolutely I know what's gonna happen. But I haven't used these colors before, so I don't know what will happen when I use these colors. How about that? All right, I've got it all taped down in place. I think I'm pretty close to being right on. Let's grab the blue, let's grab the cornflower, and let's add some ink. Now where the paper is white, that cornflower is going to go down just as the blue it is. But where I'm going over my green, it's going to change the color because I'm now layering blue on top of green. And so it's got to change the color, right? Okay, so I'm going to stop and take the stencil off so you can see where I am. I've done about half the stencil. I want you to see the difference between the two. And then I'm going to finish it. So this is where I'm at. Layer 2, I've got half of it about done, half of it not done. There's the not done part. There's the done part. Look at the difference by just adding that second layer on top. So by putting the green down first and layering a blue over it, I changed this color of diamond. Now, magically and with no extra effort at all, which is my kind of crafting, it looks like I've used 3 colors of ink when I have not. Bam! Hello! Wahoo Kachoo! This is easy peasy crafting. This is, you want to have fun. You don't want to stress, you want to enjoy. So just let the layers do the work for you. Your biggest decisions are going to be what color inks do you use, and do you do it do you want it just with the number 2? Do you want it with number 1? Do you just those are going to be your choices. The rest of it, the stencils do for you. Oh, there we go again. So now we have 2 of them. Does that kind of makes up for last week, right? So I'm going to put this down and put this down, and I'm going to continue with my blue. Continue with my cornflower and finish this one up. Can I use yellows and reds? And absolutely. Can I use blues and reds? Absolutely. It's only limited by your imagination and how much paper you have to play with. Might you do a combination that you're not overly crazy about? Absolutely. But it's paper. And you should finish it anyway, because by the time you're all done and you mat it onto something, whether it be a scrapbook page or a card or some mixed media, I guarantee you it's going to look far better than you thought when you finished it. They always do. Okay. So now I've got my corn flour mixed in with my, what green? Oh, lime green. Peel it off. And look at how easy is that. I only used 2 colors. I only used 2 colors. And yet I got 3. And then it's up to me. Do I want to add my stitching? Line it up. Tape it down. I know there's another one. All right, we'll just cut another piece. Oh, right here. Hello, Stacey. I knew. See, look at how good I am today. There we go. And how about we do black? So I want to, this is my blue, put my little hat on, put them away, come get my little black one. Now my black is the medium size. It's not as big as the big. They are the same price. Don't ask me why. I don't know. I asked Ozzy Andrew what gives, and he said, it is what it is. And actually, I think what he said is, it is what it is, and don't pitch a fit. So, so I gotta take it as good as I give it sometimes. So I'm gonna use my little black cube and go in there and add my detail. Now, do I have to add detail to the whole thing? No. I mean, or any of it? No, I'll only do about half of this so that you can see what it would look like with and without. Could I go in here with a metallic color? Absolutely, I could. Could I add metallic stitching or a stitching of a darker blue or a darker green? Sure, it is entirely up to you. Okay, so I've done about half my stencil. Peel off my maker's tape. And there you go. Or not. Or stitched. Or not. Or stitched. Which way do you like it better? You have options. You don't have to choose. Oh, yay. So I'm just going to finish it and then I'm going to cut it out. So I'm going to do my best to line it back up again Wish me luck, because lining those stitches up is, once you've started, is a little easier said than done. So once you start your stitches, I would not take my stencil off. I would finish it and then, but I wanted you to see the difference. So we'll see how close I get. Okay, black. And remember, the Hero ink is water soluble. You can rinse off your stencil. I don't know that all the ink will come off, but if you use a little bit of alcohol, which is hand sanitizer, which is what I have in my bottle, Marabou hand sanitizer, the ink comes off your stencil easy peasy, and it does not harm your stencil at all. Stencils are done, they are laser cut with a nice plastic, and they're very, very, very hardy. Okay, you think I'm good? Black, black. And I'm not going to keep my little tape. I can get new tape. So good, but let's trim it out and it'll look even better. Oh, I bet I just got black all over my face. Well, when I zoom on up to when we're all done, I may look a little like a chimney sweep with some black on my face, but that's okay. You knew I had a good time, right? That cut was not good, but that's okay. We're just gonna go, go, go. Think long, think wrong. So I like to leave the white border. You don't have to. The stencil gives you a white border around it, and I like to leave that white border. It looks like it's another matte, and then I could matte it just on a piece of blue or green or whatever paper that I'm going to use. It just adds a little something to it. Ta-da! 2 colors in black. And you can use any black. You don't have to have the Hero Arts black, heavens no. You could use any ink as long as those inks are going to kind of blend together. That's the important thing. Are they going to layer and kind of blend together? You don't want an ink that's going to come on top of that green and cover it up entirely. You need an ink that's going to layer on top and kind of blend it into each other. But my gosh, we did that just using just using 3 stencils. And it doesn't have to be Christmas. It can if you want, but it doesn't have to be. You could definitely do this in greens and reds and have a Christmas Argyle pattern. Or you could do it in browns and blues and have a great guy card. Or you could do it in pastels and have a perfect little baby, soft baby card. But we're not done with this stencil yet. We're going to take it to the next step. So I think I'm going to clean these real quick as opposed to just opening up another one. So a little bit of alcohol. And wipe it right on off. And my stencil's clean again. Might it eventually actually stain to a color? It might. Am I okay with that? Yes, as long as it's clean. The color doesn't, there was that other piece. The color doesn't transfer. So just clean them all up. And I think we will move on. See, I might not be able to get all the black off of this one. It might stain it a little bit. Or not. And you know what I forgot? I think I forgot a paintbrush. All right, well, I'll grab one when we need it. All right, so okay, as clean as it's going to get. Not bad compared to how black it was. Now let's move on. What do we want to do with the stencil now? Ooh. Oh, fun, fun, fun. Okay, so we have this stuff in from Sizzix. It is called a pearlized medium. It's got the little lid on top, which I like, and it's got a little lifty for the lid. And yeah, it's probably a little heavier than a mousse, but not as thick as a heavy body paste. Yeah. So it's maybe a little bit more like a whipped cream topping than a buttercream topping, would be my guess. It's definitely not as heavy as peanut butter, without question. Can you tell it's close to dinner time here? So what does this stuff do? Well, they're not the only company that makes it, that's for sure. But, and you may have something that's a pearlized already from the Crafter's Workshop or from Tonic Studios. I do know that by having the little lid on it, it keeps it from drying out, which is very nice. That little lid makes it airtight, which is a nice little addition to, I don't think the other ones have that. And it is not wax based. This is definitely more of a water based product. And I think after playing with it, it's made up with a glue substrate. I think the foundation of this is some sort of a glue type substance, and then the pearl is added in. So will it hold paper to paper? Oh, you bet it will. It's definitely it has a if you were to put two things together, it will definitely hold them together. It has a glue type base to it. It also dries like this. It's very, very, very fast. It's not like the Aladdin Pearly. That is more loose. That is definitely more loose. This has definitely got more form to it, but it's not as thick as a normal texture paste that you would put through a stencil. I'm going to use this a little differently than what maybe you might be thinking to use it like. So I'm going to start with my stencil, and I'm going to start with the stencil number 1, and let's tape it down. And let me grab a little more tape. I still would like a tape dispenser for this, please. Ellison Sizzix. Just a nice little tape dispenser for it. And so I usually tape the ones that are diagonal or here. I don't tape the 2 top and leave the 2 bottom. I tape diagonally. Okay, so I'm taped down and ready to go. I think I'm going to use a red, and I'm going to use the red Royal. Ooh, it's so pretty. So I've got my red brush, because it doesn't matter what red I use. 1 brush per color family. And I know some of them have now colored their body, you know, the body of the brush to the color of the color family. And that's super cool and really cute. I'd rather have my lids, my little hats. It's really up to you what makes your heart happy, whether you want to write red on it or have a red body. You know, they're absolutely everywhere. You find them where it works best for you in the style that works best. I like the lids. Okay, or the little hats. So I'm just going to put this down. just like I did with that lime green, I'm just going to get in there and get my red down. And easy peasy. Doesn't take long. You don't have to be overly careful. You can obviously go outside the lines. And because my stencils have that beautiful little border all the way around it, you can choose to keep that white border. It'll have that white border all the way around it. Or you can cut it off. It's up to you. But we're all about options here. Options and being affordable. And when I can give you something that has so many different ways of using it for 10 bucks, that's a make my heart happy moment. All right, so I've got my red. Now, I'm gonna grab this and I'm gonna put a little bit of my red right down. Well, let me change my stencil before I do that because I need stencil number 2. So let's pull up stencil number 1. Oh, I had a piece of paper in there. Darn it. I'm going to put that back down and do that again. I had a little piece of paper in there. Okay, gone. Okay, gone. Good. So 1, 2. Let's put my stencil number 1 over there. And I'm going to put my stencil number 2 down just so it's ready to go. I don't want to wait. I don't want to do it after I mix my products together. So let's grab my stencil number 2. And let's put it down. And all I have to do is line up. See that? That's just paper. Line up my stencil so that it lines up perfectly with that one. And then see over here, it's not lined up. Line it up so it's perfect with that one. And when you've got them both perfect so you can't see any bright white paper or black paper or whatever it is you're using, then you know you've lined your stencil up. I'm going to go with it. It looks pretty good. Oh, I just moved it. Of course I did. That looks pretty good. I'm okay with it. This is handcrafting. Close is enough. And tape down. And tape down. And tape down. Now, I know lots of you have used a mousse or a medium and you've colored it yourself. You have lots of options to do that. But for those of you who are perhaps new to doing some of these, most of the time you would use a re-inker. So something like this. This is a Black India ink re-inker, and you would drop a few drops down and use whatever medium, white medium that you want to use to color it. Therefore, your white medium is no longer white. You can make it any color you want. But, well, you know, there's a lot of you out there that don't have re-inkers for everything, or don't want re-inkers for everything, or you just have the little cube size inks. Okay, not a problem. Easy peasy. Let's go ahead and let's put red. Okay, I got some red down. Right there. Lots of it. Then I'm going to grab one of my blending brushes, and this is from Aladdin, and you can see this is the one that I use when I use my wax. I'm going to take some of my paste. In fact, I might even just take it from off the top. Some of my paste. My mousse. It's not mousse. It's definitely not. They call it a pearlescent medium. And then I'm going to mix. Do I want it more red? Red, 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 red. And then mix that color in. And then I can go over, oh, I didn't move it. Well, we're gonna go for it. I can go over, and instead of using a brush or a palette knife, I'm just using my blending tool. I'm just using my blending tool. And I'm starting to pearlize. Now, do I want it darker than that? If I want it darker than that, I can absolutely wipe up. Wipe, wipe, wipe. See, it's kind of got a glue-like structure to it, but it wipes right up. I can red, 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 red again. And pick up some of my medium. Plop it right down. In fact, I might even put a little more red. Red, 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 red. And blend it in. And then I am able to come and I can add even more color to it. Up to you how much color you want. But what you are definitely going to get is shimmer and shine. So I'm going to put my lid on. It even has a slight glue-like smell. I tell you, there's got to be some glue in here somewhere. And how quick does it dry? Super quick. So let's pull off. And let's see what I've got. Oh, I smeared it on one side. Darn it. So now you've got 3 different colors going on. Some of it with a shimmer, some of it without a shimmer. It's so pretty. It's having pearlized without it being pearlized. And how quick does it dry? Well, that's dry. I wish I hadn't have accidentally got it in there, but I did. Let's do it one more time. Okay, let's take my first one, which is not this one, and I'm going to wipe this up. Now, the longer it sits on your stencil, the harder it is to get it off. It just means that you've got to, because it's got that glue-like to it, it means you're just going to have to give a good rub. Or you can let your stencil soak, up to you. Or if you've got a little scrubby brush, that will take this off instantaneously. But the longer you let it sit there, the little bit harder that you're going to have to rub. Is it going to hurt your stencil? Absolutely not. It's just got a kind of glue-like feel to it. I don't know if I would compare it. I haven't played with the Tim Holtz products where it's that seal and glue or matte glue, or I think that that's pretty, I mean, it would be like a pearlescent seal finish to it. Okay, let's try it one more time. And we'll start with stencil 1. Let's get a different piece of paper. And let's try a different color and see what we get. So 1, 2, and remember, all we're using is paper right now. We're playing on white paper. I'm using just 80-pound cardstock. It's not even 100-pound. How much white cardstock do you have? Can you imagine using the pearl on black cardstock? Ooh la la, right? And then this time, what if we take, I don't know. What if we take the corn flour, and what would we put with it? Maybe a soft green? Maybe a soft pink? I don't know. Let's try. It's only paper. So get my color all the way down. I'm not trying to have an exact color all the way through. All right. All I want to be sure of is that there's no white paper. I don't want to see any white. I can see light blue through it, but not white. Okay, good enough. Now let's pull it off. So pretty. Let's take our stencil number 2 and put it on. Gosh, I have no idea what this is going to look like, and honestly, that's the truth. We'll see what colors these come out to be. Could be a whole lot of yuck or a ooh. So for those of you who are new, you need to know that my YouTubes are unscripted, unedited, and undubbed over. What you see is what you get, and sometimes things are fabulous, and sometimes it's like, huh, well. I say we keep with the red and see what we get, right? Can't hurt. Let's get my mousse out and put my blue lid on, and let's go red, 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 red. Look at how juicy that is. Red, 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 red. Maybe that's why they don't do reinkers, because my gosh, they're so darn juicy. And then let's open it up. I've got the little lid on it that keeps it from drying out. Take a little bit from, I should have a spoon here, but that's okay. That's probably too much. And put my little lid back on it for now. And then let's take my little foamy, because you know, maybe you're not comfortable with a palette knife. I actually like my little foamy. It lets it mix it. And then this time I'm going to make sure I don't get too much on. So I'm going to kind of bounce a little off before I come over and do it. Let's see. Just bounce a little bit off so it's not too heavy. And just softly blend it in. I got enough here to do 4 of them. Don't use as much as I did. So have you thought about using your ink pads to color your mediums with? I know everybody uses re-inkers, and that's great if you own them, but a re-inker is a whole nother expense. Usually re-inkers go from $5.99 on up. All right. Okay. I feel bad about wasting that, but I'm gonna lift it up just so I don't get it on me. That was a little bit of sadness right there. That did not make my heart happy, but I'm gonna put my little back on just to make sure that I'm all closed up. It's got this little tab right there. And okay, so the bonus is if you buy the I Want It All of the inks, you get this one for free. So I think this is a $7.99 or an $8.99 value. So the I Want It All of the inks are on sale already at 20% off. And then we're going to give you the Sizzix Pearlescent Medium for free to go with it, so you can start right away. All right. The moment of truth. Oh, it's not bad. All right, now can you put your stitching over the top? Sure you can. That's dry. That's pretty darn dry. This one is definitely dry. Look at the sheen and the shimmer, but only, you know, you have the ones that were masked off that don't have that, which is kind of nice. That gives that depth perception that you're looking for. Let's take and put this over the top. And tape it down. And add my black stitching, which will take it from a Harlequin to an Argyle. Okay, my black ink. Doesn't matter what black ink you use. Will it go over the pearlescent? Could I use a metallic? Yep. Could I use a Versamark in here and get Versamark in all of there and then throw embossing powder? Yes. It's a little bit more of a challenge, and you need to make sure everything is dry, because you don't want the embossing powder to stick to your Argyle pattern. But yes. Sure, try it with embossing powder. What have you got to lose? Some white paper? Or black paper, if you do it on the black paper, how beautiful would that be in all metallics? And then you add the stitching in a black high gloss, detailed, definitely detailed, your black detailed embossing powder. Ooh, pretty. Told you it was dry. Crazy, right? It dries so super fast. Let's cut it out. Oh, let's wipe off back of my tweezers, which are actually Aussie Andrews tweezers, but they're the best tweezers I found besides mine. And then let's cut it out. Once you get rid of all the background, it changes everything. And one color of a pearlescent mousse or texture paste really is all you need. Find the one you like. I mean, it's great if you get the Sizzix one, wahoo kachoo, but do you have to? No. Not so bad. I wasn't sure how the color combination would be, but you know what? I'm okay with it. Totally different looks. Could I start with the pearlescent and then come back on stencil 2 with the darker color? Sure. Why not? Give it a whirl. See what happens. You have options. This one doesn't have the stitching. I bounced a little too hard, but we'll put a ribbon over that and nobody will know what was underneath it. So no stitching. Stitching. No pearlized. Just one stencil in the stitching, half done, half not done. Stencil number 2 in the stitching, half done. Stencil number 3, doubled up or singled. 1, 2, 3, only using 2 colors of inks. Again, using 2 colors of inks, but with a pearlized medium. Stitching, no stitching. What do you want to do? Options plenty. And dry. I like the dry part. I mean, that makes my heart happy when something dries like that, that I don't have to sit there and put it aside and pray that I don't move my arm across it. Because that always happens to me. I move my arm across it. Now, I did this one when the samples first came in, and I had to QC them. I did this one. I laid the green down first, and then I went over the red with the red, and when I laid this red over the green, it turned into a burgundy red. Uh-huh. Okay, are you ready to move on? Let's take the next stencil, which is my angel. It's versatile, but probably not as versatile as the background stamp, but it really is. I love her. I just do. I love her. So there is a way to use this one as well. 3 stencils. And we use them in order. This is your stencil number 1. You're like, really? Some people think this is your stencil number 1, but no, this is going to be my stencil number 1. This is going to be my stencil number 2. And this is going to be my stencil number 3. So let's start. Let's keep this kind of handy. And a paintbrush. I told you I forgot a paintbrush. Let's see if I've got a paintbrush in here. Ooh, paintbrush, hello. Nope, not that. Oh, paintbrush. That might work. I got another one anywhere in here? Oh, plenty of paintbrushes. Happy day for me. Okay, like it never even happened, right? Right. Okay, so I'm going to tape it down. Get my maker's tape. Get me a hunk off. One, 2, 3. Now I envision her in the night sky. You can envision her any way you want, but in my mind, I saw her in the night sky. So I'm going to start with my blues. And I may start with maybe a little soft pool. You're saying night sky and soft pool, Stacey. Don't know that those match. That's okay. I just want to add a kind of a color of a blue. Just a color, just to get a color down. And soft pool is definitely soft. Now, I'm going to have to hold her in place because there's really no place to tape her down and you don't want her lifting up. But you've got ample space right on her dress just to give her a little hold. The thing with stencils is we kind of push the envelope. I do push the envelope a little bit because most companies would want this stencil to have a contact somewhere to the border so it doesn't lift. But that then defeats the whole the whole idea of the look of the stencil. So I'd rather tell you to just put your fingers there. Gosh, I hope I didn't put anything on that white paper below it. No, okay. Put your fingers there, kind of hold her in place. And again, I'm just trying to get a light color down, just so I have a base color. Almost like when I use my yellow as a base color. If we were not doing a night sky, I would have used yellow. But I want to try a little bit of a night sky. Do you have ombre inks from Hero Arts? Those would work lovely on this. But if you love their colors, which are so different than the Memento colors, they really are a big difference than our Memento colors, which is why I wanted them so desperately, because it just rounds out the whole offering. And then let's go with a little bit, let's go with a little bit of navy. Let's see what color navy is. See how dark it is. Oh, look at that, that's pretty dark. Hello. I'm just gonna put some navy in here. Oh, hello. You are definitely night sky worthy, no question about it. Hold her down just a little bit. And I'm not gonna care if it's perfect, if my color's solid all the way through, if I've got some highs and some lows. That's what I'm looking for. When you look up at the sky, it's not all the same shade of blue. Leaving that little bit of yellow or white, well, it's not white, the light blue behind it almost gives you a look of clouds. All right, so I'm good. Perfect? No. Handmade? Absolutely. And I think I might just take a little bit of purple. Pink, orange, brown, black. I bet this is my purple one. Put my blue in there, grab a little bit of purple. I think I'm going to add just a little bit of purple just to the top. Again, for definition. And I think that's good. I think I should go down a little further. No, that's good. And then I might come back with just a little bit more blue and darken it up. Just at the top. So I know it kind of looks like a hot mess here, but underneath is what we care about. All right, so are we happy with that night sky? Purple, blue. All right, let's take it off. And that's where we're at. You could leave it just like that if you wanted to, without question. But I don't want to. I want to do more to it. So I'm going to take stencil number 2, which is this one. Stencil number 2. Doesn't have a lot of detail to it, but what it does is adds detail to it. So I'm going to line it up. Line it up. That looks pretty good. Put my tape down. And now this stencil is almost exclusively a mask. It's almost exclusively a mask because it's covering up more than what I'm coloring. So it's only got a little bit of white here and a little bit of open there, and the star is open. So, and the part of the house is open, or the church. What am I going to do with this one? Well, let's take this guy off, my red one. Ooh, and let's grab a clean one. Hopefully with no red. So I'm going to come through with my Aladdin. Oh, this one's not even open. My Aladdin pigment inks, my metallics. If you're playing with a pigment or a metallic based ink, it's probably a pigment based ink. Almost every metallic on the market that I have ever seen is a pigment based ink. So if you've got Brilliance is a pigment based ink. The Aladdin is pigment based ink. Even the Hero Arts ombre that has like the rustic colors or the golds and the silvers, those are a pigment-based ink. So you can certainly put it down and then emboss with it, use it, throw embossing powder over the top of it, but that's how you get your metallic color, is with your pigment-based inks. And I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna add my gold. And I'm gonna make my star. So now I've stenciled in my star. I might even stencil in a little bit of her, do her halo. And maybe her face. So now I've got her halo and her face. They're under there, honest. And then I'm going to change colors again. And for her dress, I'm going to use silver, but not for her whole dress, just for the underside. When I take it off, you'll see. So I'm not doing anything hard. I'm literally just stenciling, but I'm stenciling different parts of her in different colors. And the colors are up to you, whatever makes your heart happy. But see, I don't have to worry about going out of the lines because it's masked off. There's plastic there. I can't, if I go all over it, I'm going to be just fine. I don't have to worry about getting that silver into my night sky. So let's go ahead and get my silver, and I've even got a few snowflakes. I'm going to put those in silver too. And I've got one of her wings up here. I'm going to put that in silver too. Now I can choose to leave the house white or I can color it. For today, I think I'm going to just do a little bit of a gray color just so you can see. Or maybe a soft blue. Ooh, no, I'll do a very soft gray. So let's grab soft granite, and let's grab my black. And I want to make sure, I probably could have just used that. In fact, I think I will. Just going to do a very soft gray. Just a soft gray. And now this stencil is done. That's all I can do. Everything else is masked off. Nothing else can be stenciled. So let's pull it off. We're getting closer. Now all I have is my one stencil left. My one stencil left, which has all the stars in it. And I'm going to use this as my last stencil. And I'm going to line it up and tape it down. Line it up with those tabs that are going to help you line up every time, and tape it down. Okay, now here's where I can add my green. I could color her dress here, but I don't want to. I want to leave it white. I'm going to take, let's go ahead and take my green, and I don't want that emerald green. Let's try fresh green. And a little bit of color. So now I've got my trees of green. I don't want to color my roof. I'm going to leave my roof white, but can you see that there's detail in my house, in my church, in my little church there? I'm going to go ahead and take that black. That's my blue. Let's get my black. And I'm just very gingerly going to add a little bit of black to some of the detail. Could almost use a finger dauber as opposed to one of my brushes. They're almost a little too big. Could almost use a finger dauber for this. Okay. Now her wing, her horn, up to me. How about I make her horn into the gold? Just a little gold, maybe a little on her arm. Okay, I'm going to be good with that. And then I have all these other snowflakes to do. All these other snowflakes to do. And what do I want to do them in? Well, we absolutely have the Sizzix. I could absolutely do them in this. Just get a clean bouncer, a clean... Now I don't throw these away. Like I'll keep this one and use this one for my gold for as long as it will let me. And I washed, if you wash this one, I can still use it. You just have to wet it down and get it, you know, take a little baby wipe and wash it after you've used it so that you're not throwing them away all the time. Ooh, I got red in it. Ooh, that makes me nervous. But you know what? No guts, no glory. And now I can just bounce my little stars. Could I use a unicorn ink if I wanted to? Just bounce my little stars in there. All right. So I think I'm good. Oh, do I want to add a little to her wing? I could. Okay, from this to that. Can you see the detail on the church? And I left the roof white because it's snowing. Can you see the detail on her dress and how underneath is that beautiful shimmery silver and how she's got the gold star in the sky? And look at all the stars twinkling at you. You can do this. Let's cut her out. Put your holiday sentiment with it. And you are good to go. Hence the reason why I'm doing it now. So we have time to ship it to you. You have time to make your cards. They have time to manufacture it. What do you think? And she's, the stars are winking at you with the medium. So pretty. So what if I wanted to take it and let's wipe some of it down. You know what? I'm just going to use another one. It'll take too long to wipe down. Let's just use another one. Thankfully, I have more. So let's start with another one. And cut my piece of paper. And tape it down. And we're going to go bing, bing, boom. Super fast. One. Two. Three. And four. Okay, bing, bang, boom. Blue. Maybe I'll use the cornflower as opposed to the soft pool. Get a light, just a light dusting of blue all the way around. Light dusting of blue. Now, the trees are also not attached to anything, which is unusual for a stencil. They always want your pieces to attach to something so that they can't lift up. It just means you gotta run your ink in the way the stencil goes so you don't lift your little trees. No problem. Easy peasy. All right. Got a nice shade of blue going on there. Maybe we'll do purple second. Yeah, just a little purple. And kind of fade that purple down. And then some dark blue. Let's grab that navy. I know it kind of looks like a hot mess. It's not lost on me that when you're in the middle of it, you can't necessarily see the end result. You just have to trust. You just have to trust. And know that the stencils were designed to do the work. And I know I've got brush marks in there. Okay, I'm good with that. I'm just gonna go. Everybody's so careful about how, about getting their brushes and making sure that they're blending all the way through. I want character. I want character to what I'm working with. Okay, so let's go back to a little bit of purple. Remember, we're just bebopping on through. Just to darken the whole thing up. That's it. I'm back to my blue. Okay, night sky accomplished. Moving on. Put my blue, my purple here, and my blue here, and my purple back over here. Oh boy, have I made a mess of my inks, but that's okay. Off it goes. Layer number 2. On it goes. Line it up. Tape it down. A little bit of gold for my star. Okay, done. I'm going to leave my house white this time. And I'm going to do the bottom of her dress, and I will do it in silver one more time. But we're going to change things up a little bit. Instead of using the Sizzix Pearlescent Medium, I'm going to go back to the paper glitz. That's from Picket Fence Studios. Paper glitz is also a, I want to shake it up good. It's also a glue type medium with shimmer to it. But where it is different than the Sizzix medium is that this is so loose. It really is like a paint. Okay? Not something that you would take and necessarily swipe right over because, gosh, you know, it's loose. It may get in underneath. You'd need to be a little more careful than that. Let me go ahead and do her dress. So I'm doing the bottom of her dress in silver. But this time I'm not going to do the snowflakes on her dress. I'll do the one wing in silver. But I'm not going to do the snowflakes. Oh, I'm a little off, but that's okay. We'll be fine. So that's all I'm going to do. Peel it up. And that's where I'm at. Remember last time I did it in a little bit of gray. This time I'm leaving it white. Let's take our third stencil. And line it up and tape it down. So the glitz is a little more glittery than it is pearlescent. It's a little more glittery than pearlescent. So it's got a little bit more of a high gloss sheen and more glittery than so the pearl. This is the Sizzix down here, which is more of a satin finish. And this is the Picket Fence Studios, which is more of a high gloss finish with definitely, it almost looks like a wink of Stella pen. It's got that high shimmer to it, whereas the Sizzix has that soft satin look to it. You have options. What if I took and wiped my hands off? Nope. Let's go ahead and do my bottom pieces. So my black, I'm gonna just do my around my little church. Try to get in there and get the windows and the door. And then my trees with the green. Oh, try Green Hills. Oh, that was close. Green Hills. Let's see what Green Hills does. Well, that's very Green Hills. Well, that's too Green Hills for me. That's a very bright green. Let's try Forever Green. Oh, that's a nice green. Yeah, that's a nice green, a nice little mossy kind of green. And get my other little tree. Okay, so I've done my detail work. Easy enough. No guessing what to do. You just fill the color in. And then this is where the paper glitz comes in. So I didn't add the snowflakes to her dress because I'm going to cover this in paper glitz. Could I do it with the Sizzix medium? I could. It would have a much softer satiner, is that a word? No, satin finish. It's not a word, Stacey. But instead, I'm going to come in with my paper glitz. I'll get a little bit of water. Get my brush wet, which is also dirty. Let's clean that out. Ooh, let's try my other brush. Let's see if this is dirty too. It's got a little yellow in it, but I think we'll be okay. I'm gonna paint in. See how loose it is? It's so much looser than the Sizzix product. So instead of spouncing it, I'm just gonna paint it in. I want her dress to stay white, but I want it to have white with a shimmer to it. I want it to be sparkly. Not satin finish. If I wanted satin finish, I would use the Sizzix product, but I want it to be sparkly. And I'm going to go up and do her wing. And I'm even going to do the rooftop of the house. Now this, when you use it on your snowflakes, you need to be a little easy with it because it wants to seep underneath. So you want to go a little easy with it, or you want to use the Sizzix mousse or pearlescent medium. change my Spouncy back to the one I started with my Pearlescent medium, which is right here. So because this is a little thicker, it doesn't seep in as much. It doesn't spread and go underneath. Now, if you load your brush up, if you load this up and just really spounce hard, yeah, you can push it in underneath. I'm trying to add just enough to give the shimmer and shine, and it will be a softer shimmer than using the glitz, but the glitz is going to make her dress look beautiful. Okay, let's see what we've got. Can you see the shine on the dress? That's so different than the softness of the Sizzix product. So let's pull it off. And now, do you see, look at how gloss that is. Look at how beautifully gloss that is. And I could even take the paper glitz. It's a beautiful product because it's thin enough to paint with. I could even take that paper glitz and go in there with my paintbrush and just add a little detail to my trees. I mean, just a little detail to my trees. So it looks like the snow is on one side of them. And it dries translucent. I want my tree just to have a little bit of snow going down the side. A little bit of shimmer. And now my trees have got, oh, that looks so good. They look like they're the same product, but they're not. When you see white mediums like this, you need to really investigate what it is that they do, because even though both of these containers have a white pearlescent glittery medium in it, how they behave and what they do are so totally different. Totally different. Look at her shimmery, shiny dress. Let's cut her out. So pretty. See, this is the one I tried to do with the paper glitz, and it spreads underneath. The pearlescent medium from Sizzix works much better for that. But do you like her dress with the lid? And I could go back now and I could add the silver. Is it dry? Yes, yes it is. I could go back and grab that layer of my stencil and put it right back on. And now that that's dry, grab my silver one. On it goes. And I didn't even tape it down. Shh. Now I've added the silver snowflakes to her dress. Let's cut her out. Layering stencils are easy. They're fun. They have options, especially the background stencils. But my goodness gracious, I don't know any other way really that you could get something that looks like this without doing a 3-part stencil. Now I know that there are stencils out there that have 6, 7, 8, 9 parts to it, and that is awesome. But I am about the let's get it done. I want to make something pretty right now. Three stencils, you don't have too many options to layer incorrectly. So we have that one. Or that one. Look at the difference with the little, just that little accent of adding a little bit of the paper glitz at the bottom. Just that little accent makes such a difference. And you can do this. So what do we think? We did a lot today. We played and we experimented and we layered and we learned and we found out we have options upon options upon options, all with layering stencils. And you will see there are some samples here that only have the house and the tree in it, no angel at all. But wouldn't that be a beautiful card to somebody? I just want to now take, I'm sorry, but it just, now that I see that, this one needs it too. So a little bit, just a little bit of the paper glitz from Picket Fence Studios. And a little bit on the house, just on the roof, and a little bit on the tree. That's all it takes, just a little bit. And I'm just doing down one side of the tree, the same side on each tree. And there. Oh yeah, see? See, now you see, now it's there. See, that's so much better. Now it's sparkle. Oh yeah. I sound like Mary Lynn. That's what she does. Oh yeah. All right, you guys. Oh, what do we think? Are we like, oh, I've got options? Doesn't have to be Christmas at all. Can totally be Christmas. Can be pretty and shiny and glistening and pearlescent-y, or can just be great for guys or pastels. Options aplenty. $9.99 per set. So each set is 3 stencils, $9.99 each. Yes, there's an I Want It All for the 2. And we always list my previous stencils up as well, along with the Versus stamps. So we have 2 new Versus stamp sets for you. We always do 2 new Versus stamp sets. I did one that was a Get Well. I know you're like, really, a Get Well for holiday? But this doesn't have to be holiday. This is a great for a card. Worry not, the world can wait. Take your time, recuperate. I mean, that's perfect for a guy, right? Easy does it. Get well soon. Healing. A journey traveled one step at a time. They're just really easy get well sentiments. And then I did a holiday Christmas one. So may all of your happiness at the holidays bring joy, Bring joy to the ones, joy with those you love. Holiday. Easy peasy. Giving opens up the way for receiving. Isn't that the truth? It really is. So Versus puts these together specifically for us. The only place you're going to find them like this is us. Otherwise, you have to buy them one at a time. And of course, they're on a YouTube Yummy sale without question. Let's see. So these are what we played with today. What do we have on sale for you? Well, here are all the colors of the Hero Arts inks. This is all of them. That's all 24 in the cubes that are exclusively here at Scrapbooking Made Simple, sold individually, no longer in the 4-pack, so you can pick and choose the colors that you want. $2.99 each on a YouTube Yummy sale, absolutely. But if you end up with the I Want It All, you're also going to get the Sizzix Pearlescent medium. So there's all your colors. If you buy the I Want It All, bam. So that's on sale. Here's the I Want It All. There's all 24 colors. Thank you to Kimberly at Hero Arts. Thank you to Kelly, to May, to Aaron, everybody who had a hand in getting this done for Scrapbooking Made Simple. Thank you. I can't thank you enough. Appreciation, if I could show it more, I would. I just want you to know that I value the relationship we have with Hero Arts, and I appreciate all the support that you give to us, and I hope we in turn give that back to you. I really do. Then we have the paper glitz, which we've done before. Paper glitz from Picket Fence Studios. Love this color because you can also make this any color you want. We've got the Sizzix Pearlescent. So if you don't get the I Want It All and you want this, it's also on a YouTube Yummy sale. Absolutely. And remember, don't lose that little lid. It's what keeps it from drying out. We'll have the Eyes Ink. I know lots of you already have these. So these are great little pads at a very inexpensive cost for your metallics. That way you have them but didn't have to spend $9 for a full-size pad somewhere. Absolutely. We have got the Aladdin will be on sale, the little bouncer brushes that I used, the 2 sets of stencils from Simply Defined. The one and only Christmas. This is it. And of course, this one can be used for just about anything. And we'll have Ozzy Andrews blending brushes with the little hats. I love them because they have the little hats. That makes my heart happy. And the Versus. So oodles of stuff on sale for you. And remember that my stencils are one and done. So when they're gone, they're gone. We order plenty so that we have plenty, but they do eventually disappear. So those are that. And then let me talk about samples. So let me bring over the samples because they're beautiful. So you've already seen this one. And here we have Get Well, Feel Better Soon. And again, there was only 2 colors used in this. And then they used a metallic that feels like could be luster wax maybe to do the stitching in the silver. I showed you this one in the beginning. So the healing is part of the, well, all of the sentiments are part of the Verses. Well, there we go. One more time. May all the happiness of the holidays be yours to enjoy with those you love. Look at how soft. So this isn't in a night sky. Look at how sweet is this. Soft and simple and elegant. And here we have Get Well Soon, Feel Better Soon, Get Well. And this time we put the pattern on a horizontal as opposed to a vertical. Giving opens the way to receiving. That's a true story. That's true. Something happened today with a product that was accidentally shipped to somebody, and it was, what ultimately happened was a blessing in disguise, and I was so glad to be part of that. So it was a mistake, and we didn't ask for the product to come back. We said, keep it. We made the error. It's our error. You keep the product. And in turn, it's going to somebody that really can use it. So when that happens, well, giving is the way to open the way to receiving. Look at how pretty is she. Wishing you seasons of gladness, seasons of cheer, and to top it all off, a wonderful year. That's one of the verses sentiments. Now this one was done using Inky Antics. I think it's an Inky Antics stamp. So something that we probably have this in our online, but not part of the YouTube Yummies. But to give you an idea of how that background stencil can be used in so many different ways. And here it's been cut out of the blue in a diamond pattern to add an element there. And here, I'm supposed to open it up. How gorgeous is that? Hello. And then you've got opulent paper going on, and you've got the verses stamp in there. Giving opens the way for receiving. Maybe not necessarily a mass-produced card, but to somebody you really, really like. And then we have it in Christmas for the Argyle. Again, lots of opulent paper and stuff in this. But the background, just simple and easy. Very pretty card. Beautiful card. And here we have, may all the happiness of the holidays be yours to enjoy with those you love. And look at how beautiful is this. This one can be a mass-produced card. This one's easy peasy. Didn't even use the house and the trees. Covered it up. Just has the angel. No house, no trees. Or church, no trees. And then we have another one using the background. Now this is using layer number 2 and layer number 3, but not using layer number 1. And these are stamps that we have from Inky Antics, and this is part of the Versus stamp set that we have for you today. Right? How cute is that? And then here she is in pink. Right on just white paper, and it's stamped. The sentiment is stamped right on the white paper. And here we have a watercolor effect with the stencil. So this is putting the stencil down. This is using the negative. Pretty, right? Cute stamp too. What a cute little. Also, is that Inky Antics? Yep, it's an Inky Antics stamp. And then the sentiment is a warm and friendly greeting, a cheery thought or two, and many get well wishes are in this card for you. And that's part of the Get Well sentiment versus set that we have for you. Okay, next set. So Doris did this card, and she did the one I showed you earlier. Very similar to each other. The difference is one has the sentiment going down the side, and one has a sentiment along the bottom. You can absolutely mix them up. Similar cards, but different. And look at how cute is this? It says open me. Okay, I will. How cute is this? Remember I told you we'd have one that didn't even use the angel at all? This is just the bottom with the church in the trees. Look at how darling is this. So super cute. Here we have more of a watercolory. Pretty, right? And worry not, the world can wait. Take your time, recuperate, 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 recuperate. But look at the colors. And here, these were done in 2 different colors with stencil 2 and not over here. How cute. SMS Girl Claire did this one as a rub. So she laid the stencil down, laid the paper over the top, and kind of rubbed with the ink, just like you would an etching. Have you ever done an etching? Have you gone to, whether it be an old gravesite or maybe a war memorial and there's been a name there and you etched it? Well, that's kind of what she did here. She just kind of etched it. She put the paper down and put the stencil underneath it and ran the ink over the top for a totally different look. Okay, this is kind of what I look like when I get sick. But again, using the background, using the stencil. And that's using 1 and 3. So no 2. And here, SMS Girl Claire took the paper glitz and just painted it in all the little diamonds. And then the sentiment from Verses. She was so proud of this one. Healing, a journey traveled one step at a time. And see all the cars, they're going forward. She was so very proud of this one. And then look at this. Is this absolutely gorgeous? See, the stitching is done in the blue. She pulled the blue. This is probably Doris. Yeah, it says open me. So it has to be Doris. She picked this topper to go on it and then tailored her colors for the background from the colors here. And the stitching is done in this blue. So pretty. And then look at how happy is this. Look at how happy is this. Again, picked the topper and picked the colors of the inks that went with the topper. Simple, easy, done. Simple, easy, done. That background can be used with so many different things. And then look at how soft and elegant. Again, picked the topper, knew she was going to cut this out of the paper, and then chose the colors, the ink colors that went with the topper that she picked. No, don't open it. Okay, oh, the sentiment's right there. All right, you guys. That's it for today. Oh. Okay, let me tilt up and then let me go way back. Way back. Okay, that's as far back as I can go. And again. Okay, but it wasn't like repetitive like I needed to worry. But anyway, it is me, Stacey, Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com. I sure hope you learned something today. I hope you discovered something. I hope you went, oh, for a moment. I hope you put whatever suitcases you've been carrying around the whole week, because we all have baggage. Trust me, we all have things in our lives that are going on. So if you get the opportunity to put those suitcases down for 2 hours and however many minutes this is, and just decompress and take a breath, and even if you don't craft, you just enjoy, then it was all worth it. Every minute, every second of this class, that means more to me than anything else in the world. Now, some of this product is only here, but there's product, you can find hopefully the paper glitz at your local retailer. You might be able to find the Sizzix Pearlescent medium at your local retailer. If you want full-size Hero Arts pads, you might be able to get those at your local retailer. But the stencils and the stamps from Versus and my Simply Defined stencils are only here. And the cubes sold individually from Hero Arts are ours alone until January. So you may be able to find something similar to your blending brushes at your local mom and pop, real mom and pop, independent retailer. Go buy them from them. And then if you can't, that's when you go online and shop with online retailers. We gotta keep our local mom and pop businesses, whether it be your local barber shop or your florist or your non-Starbucks coffee house or your dry cleaner. We gotta keep them all going. So sprinkle a little bit here and sprinkle a little bit there and sprinkle a little bit over here. And then when you can't find what you really need, then go online, or if you can only get it. And well, for some of the stuff, it is exclusive to us, well, because they're my designs. So, all right, it's me, Stacey, Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com. I can't wait to see you all next week. And be kind to each other, okay? Be kind to yourself. It's important. All right, I'll see you later. Bye, everybody.